Good evening, everybody. This is the official, unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show for episode 149. Just going to call this the murder of a 4-year-old. No. Or how about the 4-year-old bumps better? Or SpongeBob house abolished. Or demolished. Abolished. Should be abolished. I hate that sponge. Or in honor of the tiki bar, you put the lime in the coconut. How about that one? No? No? I know. I hear the crickets. What's up, John Miller? That was a good episode, I thought. Camera angles weren't that bad. Camera angles are actually not that bad. The editing was good. The audio was good. The aspect ratio was meh, but it's minor. It's a minor thing. Listen, if two black bars on the either side of the screen take away your ability to watch TV, I'd hate to see what you what you did in the 90s, because that's how TV kind of looked in the early days of HD when not everybody was going to HD. That's pretty much how it looked. We started off with Kane Justice and Ethan Alexander Sharp going up against Redemption. Nick Richards and Mr. McAllister. And I gotta say, live, I can tell you right now, live, the match was pretty good. Snooty is a wrestling vacuum. Okay. All right, John. But I gotta say, live, the match was good. Turned out really good on YouTube. I love the commentary tonight from Cecil and Smith. I don't have a bad thing to really say about this episode. I mean, if you look at it just as a whole episode of Worldwide, it's probably, somebody even said it in their chat room, it's probably the best we've gotten since Battlecade, and I have to agree. Let us know what you think about it. Call in if you'd like to. The phone lines are open, 434-710-4900. Have some subscriber shout-outs to get out of the way here. It's kind of hard for me to do a normal after show because I can't really take notes while that thing is playing. But I will say this: Ethan and Kane as a tag team, I'm still kind of iffy on it because I still think that both of them don't deserve to be in a tag team, especially with each other. But I will say that, hopefully after the Kernodle Cup, those two split apart and they let them have a singles career again. Because I gotta say they both deserve better than just to be thrown together as a tag team, and that's what it comes off as to me. I know people are gonna say I'm wrong. I had Lee Valiant on Twitter. Lee Valiant was on Twitter. It says, eager to see your booking credentials, or are you fantasy booking? Come on, dude, or come one, dude. I think he meant come on. I don't know what he's referring to. Because I've said, hell, I'm not opposed to ever taking a book. The only book I'll have is the one thrown at me, probably. But the official after show. Thank you, man, for following us on Twitch, whoever you are. Well, that's a giant rib on me. But I like the match. Redemption's getting better as a tag team. They're still my pick to win the Kernodle Cup. But yeah, I like those two facing off in each other. The one thing that I did sit here and say, I said it to the American Lucha guys as we were watching this match live. I felt like we now know that, well, we don't know anything, but I feel as if now those two teams are going to be on opposite sides of the Kernodle Cup bracket, or else why would you have them face here? It's still iffy on if I'm going to be able to go to the Kernodle Cup. I'm not going to be able to make the first show, and if I do make the second show, I'm going to be late because I don't even get off work till 7 o'clock. So it's kind of iffy if I'm going to even appear like I'm an appearance. Show up. Jesus. The new meds are not working, folks, apparently. Anyway. Crazy Joe White, the stupid Mark. Joe White, you don't make an appearance. Anyway. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the Credodal Cup. I'm kind of ticked off because I was promised Saturdays off with the new work schedule. And then they spring on us today that, no, you're working on Saturdays. You only have Sundays and Mondays off. So I'm kind of ticked off about that, but oh well. It is what it is. I gotta start making money. Sadly, money comes before CWF. But anyway, let's get to some subscriber shout-outs before we get into the next match here. Let me see here. BCW Pro Wrestling, thank you so much for following us on Twitch. I'm going to get new gifts and everything next week. I'm probably going to pour it over the YouTube ones. But thank you so much, BCW Pro Wrestling here. Our pal John Miller is now following us on Twitch. Thank you so much for following me here and migrating over to the Twitch, as Kevin calls it. Wow, okay. CWF Mid-Atlantic, the promotion themselves, is following us here on Twitch. Thank you so much. Whoever's in charge of that Twitch account, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see here. Come on, load up. The Enforcer J, I think I know who that is. That's our pal Jason from American Lucha Designs, I believe. Thank you so much, Jason. And then, of course, the official after show followed us this evening as well. Shout out to our sponsors, American Lucha Designs. Look, I have T-shirts available. If you slide into the DMs on Twitter at Joe Pillow to Post, I can tell you how to order one. I'm temporarily out of size medium, however, but I do have sizes left in small and large, extra large, 2X, 3X, and I think I have one 4X left. So if you need any graphic design work done, if you're a pro wrestler out there, if you need a gear made or merchandise made, if you're a podcaster like me, you need a logo made, the boys over at American Lucha Designs can help you out. Contact them on Twitter. I believe they're at American Lucha, or even go to their newly revamped website at AmericanLuchaDesigns.com for more information. Also, I want to give a shout out to Bullock's Engraving in Henderson, North Carolina. Listen, again, I say this every week, but spring baseball season's upon us, softball season's upon us. You know you have a team that wants to get a trophy made, and if you need any engraving done on those trophies, the fine folks at Bullock's Engraving in Henderson, North Carolina can help you out. Head on over to BullocksEngraving.com. Mention that you heard about them right here on the official, unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show. Get you 10% off your order. So head on over to BullocksEngraving.com. The next match was Eric Andrews versus KL. Is it KL Free? I think I'll just call him KL. Short, sweet, to the point, exactly what Eric Andrews needs to be doing right now. He's the golden boy. He needs to come out there and prove why he's the golden boy. He comes out there, squashes people. That's all that needs to happen right now. It's nice to actually see him wrestling again, as opposed to just sitting out in the crowd scouting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed, the squash very much. KL did a fine job. I will say one thing. KL's got damn nice ring gear. As you well know, I'm a bit of a ring gear mark. If you have nice ring gear, I'm going to compliment you on it. KL's got some damn fine ring gear, and so it was nice to see KL there again for CWF, even if it was a short, sweet 2-minute match. And two asphalt spikes by Eric Andrews, and again, I ain't got a bad thing to say about it. Camera angles were on point. The audio was on point this week. Commentary was damn good. Don't have a bad thing to say about this, guys. I really don't. Then the next match was the Chapel Hill Street Fight. Eric Royal taking on Snooty Fox, the hometown guy. They kept it in the ring at first, and people were like, is this a street fight? And I'm sitting here going, I wanted so badly to type in the chat room and go, guys, just give it time, man. You want them to blow their load all, 2 minutes into the match? Goon Recruiter says, I thought audio still had a lot of issues. I didn't detect not one issue. I thought it was perfectly good. I thought it was fine. I I do think that the commentary could have been louder in some spots, but anyway, I just I keep hearing KO. I thought it was damn good. I'll tell you right now, this was the best episode of Worldwide from a production standpoint since Battlecade, and I was worried. Me and a couple of other people that were there were real worried when we saw some of the camera guys and where they were. But I gotta say, they impressed me. They actually got good shots here. The editing was fine, and we were worried because we were sitting there going, "There's no hard cam. There's no crow's nest for this new producer, who shall remain nameless, to go to." I kept hearing like an echo. There was slightly overlapped audio from two different cameras. That's petty stuff. That's petty stuff that I'm sitting here wearing a headset and listening to it on a headset through a sound mixer, and I didn't detect anything. So, and normally, the only thing I detected was Snooty and Eric talking to each other, when they got the crowd back in. And I think it was the coach, somebody said, "Hey, if they grab my wallet," like I heard little things like that, but I didn't hear an echo. I didn't hear overlapping audio. I didn't hear anything like that. So, I mean, pointed out where it was, but if it was there, it was very, very minor. Very minor. There were no blackouts. There were no, audio delays, nothing. So, anyway, I John, I couldn't hear, I couldn't hear any of it. So, kudos to them. I thought it was a damn fine episode. It was well put together. This Eric Royal versus Snooty Fox match, I could go on a rant here, but I won't. You guys know what I'm going to say before I even say it. The chat room was lighting up with it the whole damn time. And my affirmations, were confirmed with this. I tell you right now, all I got to say, is from a live standpoint, Snooty could be walking around with a cane, limping, and they would still love him. So that's just the thing. It's just what it is. I did when they went outside, me and the American Lucha guy stayed inside. There was maybe only about 20 people inside. The rest of about 3/4 of the building followed these boys outside the Hargraves Community Center there in Chapel Hill. And I'm just sitting here going, my God, do you really, I know you want to see what's going on, but damn. And my, again, my worries were confirmed because a 4-year-old got knocked out of the way. It's not funny, but it is. It's not funny, but it is. It's just, and then I put in the chat room that the 4-year-old took damn better bumps than, well, never mind. But anyway, It's just a matter of, we got hit with pineapples. People were stealing chips off the back of the, you were nice compared to me. I buried the crap out of Snooty, says Miller. There was a lot of people in that chat room tonight that did. And you know what? I'm glad to see I'm not the only one. I'm glad I'm not the only one that does it. It makes me feel better that I'm not the only one that does it week in and week out. I got to say that the match itself, it told a good story, especially there towards, the end once they got back inside. The crowd helped tell the story, too. I'll give the crowd some props here. They helped tell the story, too. I think that if they would have stayed inside when they went outside, it wouldn't have been as impactful. If the 4-year-old kid didn't take a bump, wouldn't have been as impactful. If they weren't out there getting hit with pineapples, it wouldn't have been as impactful. So the crowd helped us tell the story here, I did feel bad for that dude in the crutches on the front row because I'm sitting there going, dude, you got off lucky. I'm sitting there going, dude, you got off lucky because if this was anybody anywhere else, your crutches would have been used as a weapon. But yeah, the crowd helped tell the tale here. I'm just curious to know if they go back there. Well, it's not a matter of if. It's probably when. When they go back there, are we going to continue to see every few months Snooty Fox, who is a mid-card guy for them, get all of a sudden hot-shotted into a main event position? Eric, wow. John Miller in the chat room burying Snooty here. You can probably see it on your screen. He says, if you're listening on the audio version, he goes, Eric's back must be killing him from all that carrying. Ouch. That's a bit savage. But he's drawing the house. I find it hard to believe that he's the only one drawing that damn house. And just because you draw the house doesn't mean you should always main event. From a continuity standpoint, from a canon standpoint, from a flow of these episodes, you got Eric Rowe, who's now branching out and trying to take on Hurricane Helms and get his title back, but at the same time, he's got this little flea on his back named Snooty Fox that he has to try and swat away. That's what it comes off as. I honestly put Snooty on the card there. Yes, he's from Chapel Hill. Does he have to main event every time? No. More power to Snooty for going out in Chapel Hill and hanging signs and papering the neighborhood and getting people to buy tickets. He's doing a lot more than any other wrestlers would for indie promotion X. You don't see a lot of people doing that for indie promotions that they work for. They show up, work, collect their money if they get paid, and go home. Hell, sometimes I wish they would paper Gibsonville like that. Surprised they don't have a banner hanging in that lawn on the front lawn of the Sportatorium that says, hey, wrestling here every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. But do I think he needs to be in the main event and totally disrupt storyline, flow? No. Sorry, from a worldwide perspective, no. Does it help draw the house live? Yes. Is the live gate always going to be put before the TV show? Yes, but that doesn't mean that they don't need to keep the TV show in mind, because I'm sorry, it just, It's like if Luke Skywalker, instead of fighting Darth Vader, all of a sudden decided that he has to go fight another Wampa right in the middle of Return of the Jedi. It's not overstated. It's not. It totally does. It's like, okay, we got all this other stuff going on. Eric Royal has this other thing going on with the Hurricane. But we got to totally disrupt the flow to follow up on this Snooty Fox thing. And here's the thing that to your point, Goon Recruiter, to your point, I will say that given all the crap that happened at the beginning of the year, this Chapel Hill show was supposed to happen back in February, and it didn't. So that kind of threw a monkey wrench in there. But it's going to happen again. It does disrupt the flow. Same thing back in December when we were on that road to Battlecade, and all of a sudden they threw in the pop-up video episode. It disrupted the flow. It disrupted the canon. It disrupted this overall storytelling, I think. It makes it look like, hey, we got to tie up this loose end over here. But then again, in their defense, the show was supposed to... this episode of Worldwide should have aired a month ago. So I do have to cut them some slack on that. The match itself, though, everybody pointing out how blown up Snooty Fox was. I'm not going to say anything because Snooty Fox probably has about 10 times better cardio than I do. And that's putting it mildly. I wish Dirty would have turned on him. I do too. It didn't happen. They did tie it up finally, yeah, and I'm glad that it's tied up. The problem is, are we going to see this again? That somebody has to disrupt their storyline to go, oh, we're going to Chapel Hill. I firmly believe that you could continue Snooty Fox's storyline the way it is, and it would still draw. He was just as blown up last match, but it came off better. It did come off better because you had a little bit more space in between spots with this one, traveling from location to location and everything, and it did. tie it up implies they're equal. It did come off better. But there were people that were pointing out in the chat room that Snooty was gassed just on his entrance. I was like, Jesus, I wouldn't go that far. But man, I'll say it like this, okay? And I know, stupid Mark Joe White, you get in there, take a bump. Book a show, Joe White. I know. I'll go ahead. Joe White, you couldn't handle the Joe White. But I will say that. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. You guys know. You guys know what I'm gonna say. It's just no excuse. There's no excuse. At least he didn't botch a press slam. Let's put it that way. But it did tell a hell of a story. Eric had to carry him a little bit. I'll put it this way. Eric had to carry him far less than I thought it was going to happen. You know? It's okay. Tell Mario Snooty his booty for me. Yeah, Mario was like the only guy out of our row that was kind of really cheering for the guy. I don't get why Mario cheers for him, really. I mean, more power to him, I guess. But anyway. Oh, man. And I guess we're going to get one more show from Chapel Hill next week. And then we'll continue on to Green with Envy. And then the Kernodle Cup. Green with Envy was actually a really, I think Snooty should go full Hogan. Short matches with 3 spots. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Or even Goldberg. Go in there and be a badass Goldberg. Go in there, hit, finish, end. Make a Chapel Hill title. They make the Chapel Hill title. It's going to have a big UNC logo on it. And Duke logos for the side plates. Anyway. Chapel Hill title. I'll be lucky just to get the Ultra J title back on my screen. And what about that? More on that in the weeks to come. I'll just put it that way. I'm not going to spoil it here. More on that in weeks to come. How about that picture-in-picture during the Kane Justice match? I liked it. Hopefully we see more of that used. Snooty and the Beast. I try to avoid spoilers, you know. I spoiled something in the chat room. I was promoting an upcoming show, and they practically freaking hung me in the chat room last week. The Goon Recruiter hated it. What did you hate? By the way, I do need to apologize. I'm sorry that I got the YouTube version of the show up late. There was every time I went to edit that thing, YouTube for some reason would throw up the ban on it. I couldn't figure out why. Didn't like the picture-in-picture. I like the picture-in-picture. Do I think it needed to be used in that case? No. But there are cases coming up. I come to see a man get his ass whipped. Wrestle Life 1, thank you for following us here on Twitch. I very much appreciate it. By the way, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, because what's wrong with burning the candle at both ends? There are links for YouTube, my YouTube channel in the description. There's a video up there right now where AC, my pal AC and I, we got together, we talked WrestleMania 34, we talked about Daniel Bryan returning, we talked about the All In show, the rumored New Japan show that's happening at the Cow Palace in July. Word is that New Japan has put down a date on the Cow Palace in July. I believe it's July 7th, which is right during International Fight Week. The show, if it happens, if it happens, will be going up against the big UFC show that same day in Vegas. But yeah, we run down a lot of stuff, everything happening in pro wrestling here. I don't mind spoilers, but I think if people want to avoid them, there are places they can reasonably expect not to see them, and the chat during a new episode is one of them. Yeah, I mean, the problem is I was promoting a show, so... Anyway, I was trying to help CWF by telling people to come out, but I think I'm of the opinion now that doing that really isn't going to draw any more people for them. So I'm going to say, I didn't do it tonight. I was a good boy. I didn't spoil anything tonight. If you want spoilers, go to Indie Insiders. Randy's happy to spoil you after each and every show. The producer said to me he'd like to come on as a guest for your show. He's more than welcome to come on, the producer. If CWF wants him to come on, he needs to. He probably should check with CWF management to see if he should come on. Because you know me, I don't ask fluffy questions. So, and it would be good as for the audience to ask the producer questions too. So, who? It's the producer. That's all. I'm not going to say his name. He's just known as the producer. That's his gimmick, I think. We're taking your calls tonight, 434-710-4900. That's 434-710-4900. I will say this about the producer, okay? And we talked after last Saturday's show about the Trevor Lee promo last week. And how there was a camera right in Trevor Lee's face. And how people in the chat room are complaining that they cut to the crow's nest cam instead of the camera that was on Trevor Lee's face. And here's the rub for you guys. For everybody that wants to complain out there. I was told by the cameraman, by the CWF management, and by the producer himself, that the reason why that footage was not used was because it didn't record for some reason. So he had to go to the crow's nest cam. And based off, and I got told by CWF management, you know what? Haters going to hate. Those who want to follow us, follow us. Those who are going to hate, hate. But people... are so quick to, jump, and I was one of them. I was quick to jump on it. And now that I know the reason, I could cut them a little slack. But the bottom line is, do we as fans, deserve to know that reason? Should that be information that we're privy to? I don't think so necessarily. We don't always need to know how the sausage is made. We see bad angles in wrestling at all times. Need I remind you of the Royal Rumble 2 years ago when AJ debuted and all they did was focus on Roman Reigns. So, even at the top level in the business, again, it's a business. In the business, mistakes are made. Be glad you're still getting a free product. I mean, again, I was quick to jump down the throats too. But now that I know why they didn't go to that angle, cut them a little slack. Is that something that I should have been privy to? Who knows? But I thought I'd let y'all in on that little nugget of information because it's just, there's some things that can't be helped, Sausage, old chap. And if he knows I like to shoot, then he's more than welcome to come on the show. He could call in next week or even this week if he wants to. Actually, tell him to save it for next week. If he wants to call in next week, have him call up. That's another cool thing about the job. For the foreseeable future, the after show won't be affected. So, if the aspect ratio thing happens next week, fool me twice, shame on you. But that's a little thing to me. That's a very little thing to me. There were no scan lines. The audio was in sync. You didn't have any blackouts. The cameras weren't that shaky. You know, you turn on Nick at Night and go to watch an old episode of Roseanne or something, the black bars are there. I'm not saying it needs to happen with CWF, but that's it. And is it something that needs to be fixed? Yeah. But it doesn't take away my enjoyment of the show. That's a small thing. The black bars are there, but the show was in 4 point. I don't care. That's just it. I don't care about what, as long as I can see it and it's not, a little dot in the middle of the screen that I have to zoom in on, I can let it slide. But next week, will they have it fixed? I hope so. Let me ask, for those who watched it on YouTube the following day, were there black bars there on YouTube as well? Because I didn't go back and watch it on YouTube. So I'm curious to know if the black bars were there on YouTube as well. Because that's how you know it's not a Twitch or upload problem. It would be an aspect ratio problem. It isn't improving as fast as we hope, and its ceiling is lower. It was not on YouTube. Okay, YouTube was right. So it makes me wonder: did they upload the fixed version to YouTube? The re-upload on Twitch was right. Okay, yeah, he needs to go back. Louis needs to go back and fix it. Then oh God, kayfabe. Anyway, producer Louis needs to go back and fix it, and I'm assuming he'll get the message and he'll go back and fix it for next week. Then next week, if it's still like that, then you'll hear Joe White bitch about it. Because 3 weeks in a row is a little bit, crazy. But it doesn't take away my enjoyment of the show. It's not something that I'm going to, throw things at the screen over, or whatever the case may be. And if it isn't improving as fast as you hope, how fast do you want it to improve? And is that even our call to make? He already fixed it. Should be up tomorrow. I think what the Goon Recruiter is talking about is it should be fixed on premiere day. There should be nothing to fix. That's just it. And I agree with that. There should next week. If it happens next week, you'll hear an earful from me. But are we the ones to judge how fast this thing's improving? Look, we're getting, free content. It's still damn good wrestling. I can't really complain about it that much. There's shit here on Twitch that looks 10 times worse. I know others have already given up, and they aren't giving up because of the issues. They're not giving up because of production. And I'm not even going to get into that. He does have a 12-hour day job. Yeah. I don't even know if this new producer is getting paid to do this. Again, that's not for me to know. It's none of my business. It's not even for me to ponder over. I don't care if he's getting paid or not. But next week, fix the aspect ratio. And for those who have given up, again, like I said, they didn't give up because of production issues. Let's be real here. I'll always watch now. I can run my mouth and watch simultaneously. That's the benefit of Twitch. Man, now Goon Recruiter in the chat room has me wanting to go off on a tirade that I really don't want to go off on. When it comes to other people, quote unquote, giving up. They gave up for bullshit reasons, in my opinion. Anyway. In my opinion. I'm just stabbing and pissing in the wind here. But, oh man, I'm not even going to go into that tirade. People in person know what tirade I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into that here. You don't want to watch anymore? Don't watch. Because guess what? They gained viewers last week. There's people from the UK who never heard of CWF were watching last week. They may not have been watching live tonight, but I guarantee you they're now CWF fans and are watching the archive. The official AfterShow says do it. No, I'm not doing it. Not stooping that low tonight. For those of you who, talked to me on Saturday, you know what I mean. And if they've given up, then they probably weren't fans of the promotion. They were just fans of other people. I'll say that much. Other people who are no longer here. And that's not a knock on those people who are no longer here. Oh, God. But if you're that butthurt over it that you can't continue to watch a promotion and support the boys, maybe you shouldn't watch. There. That's as much of a tirade as I'm going to go on. The pettiness has already grown to where I got blocked on Twitter. Pfft, like I care. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not even talking, I'm not even talking about Grant. I wish, hell, I'll go ahead and say it. Part of me wishes Grant was still there. See, I'm going on this tirade now. Why do y'all make me do this? I know, we don't make you do nothing, Joe White, but part of me wishes Grant was still there. As far as I know, Grant could still be there if he wanted to be. Again, I'm not trying to knock on anybody, but if you're a fan and claim you're a fan, and then you get butthurt, they did it to them. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. I'm actually gonna wrap it up before I go on the tirade. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it this week. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So not worth it. But if you're, if you're not going to watch because that person isn't here anymore, bye. Bye. That just means you're not a fan. You're not a fan of the wrestlers. Not a fan of the announcers, the referees, who are the ones busting their ass, and that's who you should be watching for. That's who you should be continuing to support. I'm going to get out of here. Short show this week, it was. But overall, I think tonight was a good episode. I liked it. From a production standpoint, and even from a working standpoint. A true booker would do it. I'm not a booker. The thing is, what boxes did it check? See, I'm not even going to answer. I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to continue on because there's so much I could say. I'm going to keep my mouth closed. I know. I'm just a stupid mark anyway. Stupid mark, Joe White, you better keep your mouth closed. Just play the music and get out of here, Joe White. Yeah, that's it. I'm getting out of here for tonight before I start shooting my mouth off. Maybe these new meds they got me on are working after all, because the old me off the meds. Me off the meds would just shoot and not care. The new Joe White cares. Booker T would do it. Well, go ask Booker T what he thinks about CWF Mid-Atlantic. Anyway. Good night, everybody.